Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of iWoofs. I'm here today, as usual, with my dad, Dr. Ian Dunbar. Hey Dad, how's it going?
Hey Jamie, I forgot to, didn't do it right.
There we
There
go.
we go, yeah.
We missed the clap.
Pretty lame.
The clap.
Well, I got a bad shoulder. Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's talk.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're going to continue talking about tools and ideas that can be helpful for people with dog-dog reactive dogs. And today we're going to be talking about tug-of-war. Now, I think a lot of people will be surprised that tug-of-war is one of the things we suggest for dog-dog reactive dogs. So why? Well, first of all, in the world of dogs, what is tug-of-war? What does that mean to you?
Oh, it's everything. If you watch dogs play, I mean, here's what dogs do if left to their druthers. I mean, they chase and then turn around and be chased.
Mm-hmm.
And should they come close, they start play biting.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any object lying around, and it could be anything, a stick or, toys that we have, one dog gets them and the other dog wants them, and then they play tug.
Yeah.
And three-way tug is one of my favorite games to watch, So I have a tug toy made with 3 ropes with a tennis ball on the end of each one.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting game because it depends how the dogs team up.
Mm-hmm.
See, obviously with three-way, it's very seldom going to be three-way in the different directions.
Right.
It's going to be 2 dogs pulling one way and one dog
Mm-hmm.
pulling the other way. So it's a fascinating game to watch.
Okay.
It's what dogs do. It's what they love. So I like teaching tug just so dogs, friendly dogs, can play it on their own. But that's not why we would use it
So
here.
Tug-of-war is a game that dogs naturally like to play.
They love it.
How do you harness their love, their natural, inherent desire to play tug into a training game, into like a more structured thing that is valuable to you as a dog trainer?
Oh, well, these are some of the life rewards, when we, rather than just using food treats all the time, we use more powerful rewards, life rewards, things dogs really want. So we've got your standard, what the dog wants to do on his own, which is walk, investigate the environment, stop and sniff for incredibly long periods of time, or play with another dog. So those are probably the 3 biggest rewards we use in training, simply by integrating short training interludes. Sit, go play. There's a good dog. And down. Good dog. There's a good boy. Go play. Mm-hmm. So very simple, very short sits or very short stays, or a little bit of heel sit, heel sit, heel sit. Mm-hmm. Come sit, for that matter. So, and that we must do, otherwise all these life rewards will reward the behaviors we don't want. They will become distractions to training. Mm-hmm. Next up, the interactive games. And what I love there is fetch, obviously. It's the most common. Tug is the one I use a lot because of its use for dealing with dog-dog aggression. Mm-hmm. So when we're dealing with reactivity, I'm wary of using food if I don't know the other dog I'm working with. Mm-hmm. How would it react to me giving my dog food? I'm also wary of pulling a tennis ball out. Mm-hmm. So many dogs play fetch these days that the sight of a tennis ball means a lot, because once they sniff it, they wouldn't be interested, because they would know that's not my tennis ball.
Okay.
Which I find fascinating. Yeah. It's not just a tennis ball. It's their tennis ball.
Huh.
Well, when we do retrieval games in the canine games, these people with really good retrievers end up, after a minute, the dog retrieved nothing. Mm-hmm. They thought they were going to win this game, and the dog, why? The dog spent all the time looking for his Kong. Mm.
None of them smelled right.
And left the other 28 ones there. Yeah. So I don't like using food, and I'm not so keen on using a tennis ball, and it's terrible if you drop it. It's kind of bouncy. So I love something I can have in my pocket, something that's soft, it doesn't make a noise, but I can whip it out, and it means nothing to the other dog.
Yeah.
What does it mean to our dog? You see, this is simply not a tug. Well, everyone knows it's an eyeglass case. It's obviously not a tug, but the point is, even if this were a tug toy, that's not what it means to my dog. Mm-hmm. We amp this up to be the most powerful, mega secondary reinforcer in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no different from the process of click, treat. Click means nothing. If you keep following it with a treat, click, treat, click, treat. Now click means a treat is coming.
Mm-hmm.
How we use this is, one, I want it to be naturally enjoyable for the dog. We do play tug with this.
Right.
But even if they don't like playing tug, I still use the tug toy. So we just teach the dog, off, take it, thank you. So we start doing it with food. We teach off with an object the dog really likes and wants to take and swallow. So off, and we wait and reward train that. We just hold the food till the dog pulls his muzzle away, don't say any words. And when he pulls his muzzle away for a microsecond, good boy, take it on the palm of my hand. And then off and pulls his muzzle away for 1/10 of a second, take it. I don't care how long I wait. The dog can molest my hand, lick it, mouth it, suck on it, paw it. I just ignore all that silliness. And this is the beauty of wait and reward training. You don't get upset. You just wait for what you want, for the dog to pull his muzzle away. And when he does, take it. Then we go up to 1/2 a second and a second, then 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we off and put the word in. Off, food. It's in between finger and thumb in my fist. And the dog pulls his nose away. And it's very interesting. They pull it. An onlooker looking at the dog pull his nose away thinks the dog's had an electric shock. But no, we just waited for the dog to pull his nose away and reward. And I think why you get that sudden jerk back is the dog's like, oh, food in the hand, food. Oh, I mustn't touch it. You know, like the dog suddenly realizes what we've conditioned him to do.
Yeah.
And so now we've got the dog not taking, not taking something it likes, not touching and not taking until we say, take it. So we do this with food. And so the dog reflexively takes the bit of food. Then we do it with an object the dog does like a chew toy or a bone.
Right.
Off, take it. Okay, as soon as we say that, then we say, thank you. So now the dog likes it and he's not so keen on giving it back. So we then exchange it for a tasty food reward. Off, take it, thank you, and then treat, treat, treat. Then off, take it and hold it. There's a good dog, hold it and thank you. Boom.
Yeah.
So once we've got that down, we then do it with many other objects. So I actually like doing it with this because it's something I displace a lot. And so I can say, Rover, can you find my glasses?
Yeah.
And of course they have to be very gentle about picking them up.
Yeah.
Car keys is another good one. Things that you frequently use. The remote control. And I remember once with Phoenix, I was training her actually in the kitchen and, with keys. And I said, Phoenix, you know, can you find my car keys? I was hiding them. And they have a nice leather thing to pick up as well. Eventually she came back with the remote control, which I'd lost probably months ago. It was down the back of the couch and I'd lost it and had to buy another one. So because we do it with, you know, glasses, car keys, remote control.
Yeah.
You know, I don't seem to lose much else. So now we do it with the tug. So even for dogs who don't want to play tug, off, take it. And as soon as they take it, on the couch, off, take it, chest scratch. For, I mean, like 10 minutes. Off, take it, you throw a tennis ball. Off, take it, you say, go sniff. Or say hello to another dog. It actually means to your dog, sniff butt. So everything pleasurable in your dog's life. You're walking, sit. Take it. Thank you. Let's go. So everything the dog wants is followed by taking and holding this. All right. So now I have a tremendous stimulus.
Right. There's that expression. It's not what it is. It's what you've trained it to be.
You've got it.
Trained it to mean.
Trained it to mean.
And you've trained that to mean all good things in the dog's life.
This is the doggy equivalent of $100 million check, which is valueless, just paper and ink. It's what it means.
Right.
Yeah.
What it can buy you.
And so this is going to be really good for classical conditioning. So I'm going to pull this out when my dog sees another dog. I say, yeah, there's another dog. Hey, look, Mr. Tuck's come out. Good. And I don't let the dog take it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding it. I'm holding it. I want him to look up here at my face. Good dog. You look at me, or look where he's going to bed. Good dog. There's a good dog. Once the other dog's, just as he's gone by, I may say, take it. There's a good dog. And if the other dog's not looking, we may have a little tiny baby game of tug.
Mm-hmm.
And then, thank you, put it back, let's go. So naturally now, my dog, when healing, always wants to keep one eye up here. So that's how we use it for classical conditioning. It's very, very powerful. And we made that little video, remember, with Jambo, that's somewhere on one of our many reactivity courses on Dunbar Academy.
Yeah, I think we'll make that into its own standalone video soon to make it even easier for people to find.
And it's good for just teaching basic healing. I mean, I find and basic healing is a great thing for reactivity because it keeps your dog in place.
Yeah.
And in fact, in the olden days, like pre-1980, before we had off-leash puppy classes, that's how they would control reactivity, with a downstay or heel your dog past the distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the fallout from that was it destroyed your healing.
Mm. Yeah.
Because it was still, it wasn't lured healing, and and you're always, now the dog knows, they always say heel when there's another dog, and they don't like other dogs.
Yeah.
So the dog was all confused.
Yeah. It seems like the tug toy has really two huge values where it can really lure your dog's attention and it can really make your dog feel good.
Yeah.
So,
and the other thing is, you don't need to thin it down and phase it out.
mm-hmm.
You see, with food, if you're not thinning it out from early on, you're devaluing it.
Mm-hmm.
You're spoiling your dog. And eventually the value of a food reward is next to zero because the dog knows, I'll always get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I go back eventually, I'm sniffing,
Mm-hmm.
I'll take my time. So you'll find your dog slows down. First they're slow recalls, then no recalls. And so you've got to maintain the power of a food reward, and that means only rewarding at most 1/3 of responses.
Okay.
But when we're dealing with other things like tennis balls and tug toys, you don't have to phase them out. That's become life, not just for the dog, but for you.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love my tennis ball
Mm-hmm.
times, down in Escondido. It was wonderful.
So you could reward every position change with a little tug session, and it would not devalue the tug?
No. You always ask more for less.
Okay.
Even with this, but the point is, you don't have to phase it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you walk into the park, your tennis ball is in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Your tug toy is here, and the dog knows that. And look at the dogs, he's really attentive on the owner. He's going to the park, he's ignoring other dogs because I'm going to play with my toy. But no, you can also, I said, use it for obedience to get really highly reliable obedience, either with this not in your pocket or with it in the pocket and out of sight. You're not bringing it up because now your dog will heel for, half a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Before, you always ask more for less.
Yeah.
Why? Because we can, and we wouldn't want it to be, say, you had forgotten your tennis ball going to the park.
Right. I guess what I'm asking is, you're saying you don't have to thin out playing with the toy in the same way you do.
It won't devalue it. That's
Right.
the point I'm making. Dogs can't. Anyone who plays fetch knows from the amount of ibuprofen they take each evening, the dog can't get too much fetch.
Right.
But they can get too many food rewards, just physiologically.
Yeah.
You're feeding them a half a pound of cheese in a session or on stage at a demo.
Yeah.
I saw a demo once. I honestly think the person on stage fed approaching 2 pounds of cubed cheese as a reward. This is insanity. But also you're damaging your reliability of obedience because you're devaluing the food treat. But it's very difficult to devalue a tennis ball or a tug toy.
Right. So seems like tug of war can be part of what makes it motivating and exciting for a lot of dogs is the energy and the excitement. And it seems like that energy and excitement could get away from you what are the rules that you need to have in place to make sure that tug is under control and you can harness it instead of like letting it get out of control?
The doggy life rewards playing.
Mm-hmm.
If you just do it once, go play, and ignore the dog, he's going to play like an idiot on his terms, and then he'll only come back to you when he's ready to come back. Mm-hmm. No, you want to integrate training interludes into play. And every time you stop play, you can say the words "go play" again as a reward. Mm-hmm. Well, the question is, you stop the play, sit, what did the dog do? Oh, he could have gone sit down, sit, stand down, stand, roll over, high five, twirl, downstay for 10 minutes, and then you say go play. Mm-hmm. That would be not a training interlude, but a training performance.
Yeah.
Integrated into play. So the great thing about interactive games, it's an interactive game where you're interacting with the dog, and at every step of the way, just ask for a sit. Mm-hmm. So like... off, okay, and I'm going to wait for a sit before I say take it. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I take it back. I'm going to have the dog come and sit in front of me before I throw it. I'm going to have the dog come and sit, remain sitting as I slowly roll the ball away. Right. Until I can have the dog come and sit and stay and watch me as I throw it until the first bounce at least, and then I'll say fetch. Mm-hmm. And then when it comes back, I'm going to wait until it comes close enough for me to take it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to wait until it comes close enough to me to take it, and it sits after I take it. Then it sits as it gives it to me.
Yeah.
And then it sits and gives it to me and looks at me, and we build the obedience. You don't just say, oh, pick it up, throw it, pick it up, throw it.
But remember, we're talking about tug.
Yeah, the dog will play you. The same thing with tug. You integrate all training into tug.
Right.
So you sit. I started off with tug.
Yeah.
And then you sit, and then I'll say, take it.
Yeah.
And when you take it and hold it, then I'll say, thank you. So now the token system, I'm going to say, on the couch, or I'm going to give you 3 food rewards, or whatever it is, a chest scratch, or stroke you, or praise. Yeah. But every step of the way, you're asking for control. So the rules are, and if ever these happen, I would just say, off, sit. The game's over.
Okay.
And so if the dog ever touched my hands when taking the tug toy.
Right, so these are the specific rules for the specific game of tug.
Yeah. You never take it, you never touch it until I say take it.
Yeah.
When I say take it, my hands are like this. I may do that. Mm-hmm. If you touch my hands, I say off, game over, put it in my pocket, I just walk away. And I'm not mad, I'm just pretending I'm in a huffy fit. But the dog's like, but what happened to what we were going to play?
Yeah.
And then I literally say, you touch my hands, you mustn't do that.
Right.
You got to be in this tone. There's no punishment or shouting. And now I say, let's try it again. Rover, sit. There's a good dog. Off. And I'll tease it.
Right.
I'll waggle it. It's all in my tug videos. I'll waggle it over its nose, really teasing the dog. And then I say, take it. And he goes for this bit. Mm-hmm. And I now have to have 2 hands on a tug toy because my shoulders just won't take one hand with a dog over the size of a min pin. So,
but I mean, this is essential for safety because tug is a game where dogs are biting near your hands, right?
Yeah. It's like any active game. Mm-hmm. Even tag. You can't have the dog bump you. Even healing. I've known people who've had their collaterals strained.
Yeah.
Because the dog just bumped them in the side of the knee. He was just healing.
Yeah.
And so, we need basic control, and we play rules, and it's a game. Because it's a great way to teach dogs to growl on cue. Mm-hmm. And a lot of dogs will growl naturally when they tug, and if you work them out, that's the lure we use. So we say growl, growl. And when they growl, good dog, and then we go shush and go still. Mm-hmm. Because you have to be able to control barking and growling if we're dealing with reactivity. I'm sure we'll spend a whole podcast on that later. Mm-hmm. We have to be able to
Yeah.
stop the vocalization.
So, don't take the tug toy until formally requested.
Don't even touch it.
Don't even touch it. Don't touch the human hands.
When I say take it, you must not touch my hand.
Mm-hmm. Release the tug toy immediately
When
upon
I say
request.
thank you.
Anything else?
And the way you do that is you're tugging like this, and good dog, good dog. Then you go, thank you. And you go absolutely still.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to work most of the time. And if they don't, thank you. This is a battle of wills. It's not a physical battle because you could never win.
Mm-hmm.
If the dog didn't want to let go, he's not going to let go.
Mm-hmm.
And thank goodness he's got hold of a tug toy and not you. So it's establishing that, I wouldn't even call it a battle of wills. I can't think of the right. It's a game of...
A contest of patience?
Contest of patience. I kind of like it. Yeah, when I say thank you, he's going to let go.
Mm-hmm.
He may try tugging a couple of times, and so hey, thank you. Sometimes I'll just put my finger between his teeth.
Yeah.
So don't do that unless you know what you're doing. I always do it because I have a good feel for the dog now. When I know I'm not going to get bitten, but you can be bitten by accident.
Mm-hmm.
You can get hurt in any game you play with people or with dogs.
Right.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
My first brother-in-law broke my nose with a squash racket.
Yeah, they can have. Doesn't have to be a contact sport.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's powerful. And then you don't G the dog up with it. What you want is rubber sit. You want the dog now. You want that riveted attention. I call it stimulus blocking. If the dog's doing that, he's not doing that. And eyeballing the other dog.
Yeah.
And this is where I try to teach people, because we always blame the other dog, the other owner. It's just in us. We're just born blamers, human beings. And I say, there's an awful lot you can do with your dog to help that dog and that owner so they aren't reactive and threatening your dog.
Mm-hmm.
As we'd explained in the previous podcast, it takes one of the four to get upset. All four will be upset.
Right. But also any one could kind of break the cycle.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you teach your puppy to stop wiggling and sit, right there. But if your pup is wiggling, let alone running away, let alone vocalizing and squeaking, he literally is attack bait. Right. There is no more incendiary stimulus for other dogs.
But if your puppy is in a sit-stay looking up at you.
Looking at you.
Yeah.
And that's most important. That's what everyone in the dog park sees. Mm-hmm. I remember at a dog show once, I saw this German Shepherd go off at a little, what was it, a Yorkie. So the Yorkie was being transported to the bench, the show ring, being carried, and the German Shepherd was going the opposite direction. And the Shepherd goes off, woo! And the steward comes up. And I said, it's not the Shepherd's fault. Friggin' Yorkie, man. He eyeballs him all the way. He's vibrating quietly because he doesn't make noise because it's been punished out of him. But the Yorkie's going like this to the Shepherd, and the Shepherd just said, don't do that. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Because it's a young Yorkie and a seasoned Shepherd. It's like the bigger dogs always get the blame.
Yeah.
But the litter dogs are so often the triggers. So just teach your dog to sit, stay, watch, so that then you can become calm.
Right.
So you're not G'ing up the opposition. Always, like on a sidewalk, always, if a dog's coming towards me, I would say, Zuzu sit, Omaha sit, Dune sit.
And to bring it full circle, a dog that loves to tug, if you have a tug toy, that's a great way to get your dog to sit, stay, watch me.
And remain focused, yeah.
All right.
It's kind of like free riveted attention.
Yeah. All right, Dad. Well, thank you very much for talking about tug of war and how to use it to help dog-dog reactivity.
It's actually my favorite game to play with dogs. And
we'll have to make a lot more videos of it coming up soon.
Well, that's the thing. The last video we made, it's done something.
Well, you'll coach me.
Awful.
I'll be your stand-in. I'll be your shoulders.
Honestly? All right. Okay.
All right, everybody.
Yeah,
Thanks for watching.
good.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to learn more about dog training and behavior, make sure you visit DunbarAcademy.com to check out our selection of courses, many of which are completely free. If you would rather watch more of our videos here on YouTube, just click the links to the right. And if you want to follow us on social media, everything you need is directly below. As always, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell for notifications.